Hey there, Arma here. Welcome back, guys, to the ARMAvation channel. And today I would like to talk about the Milgram Experiment and how it affects us daily in today's society. So in 1961, an American psychologist from Yale University by the name of Stanley Milgram did a series of social psychological experiments based on the obedience to authority figures. The way that this experiment worked was there was a learner, a teacher, and an experimenter. The learner which is the fake test subject, would pretend to feel pain every time the teacher would administer a shock if they got a question wrong. However, the learner were part of Stanley Milgram's, group. So they weren't real participants, but the actual participants thought that the learners were actual participants. However, they were faking it. So every time that the subject who administers the shocks knew that the fake test subject who pretends to feel pain got a question wrong, they were told to increase the amount of voltage every time they got a question wrong. And this right here would make some people part of the teacher experiment group. They did not want to increase the voltage because they feel that it could be fatal and it would hurt the person. And some continue to do it because authority was telling them that they need to continue with the experiment. The experimenter would basically, if the teacher was did not want to comply or did not want to increase the voltage, the experimenter would basically say things like, please continue, or the experiment requires you to continue, or you need to continue. Now, the results from this experiment is that 2/3 of the participants went on to the highest voltage because they were persuaded or told to by an authority figure. The other 1/3 stopped at 300 volts, which the highest amount of voltage in this experiment was 450 volts. So the overall goal of this experiment was to see how many people were willing to do the max in order to harm another innocent person just because authority or just because someone in power told them that they should. Well, let's go on to talk about how the Milgram experiment affects us and how it applies to our everyday life in today's society. Well, from a young age, we are already conditioned to learning how to be obedient, and that starts, within homes. Everybody lives in a different home situation, but it all starts with your parents, where they tell you what you can do, what you shouldn't do, when to come home, when to do this and that. And then as we get older, when we're in the school environment, we sometimes, we have felt at some point, we felt compelled to do something, whether it's based on the teacher's instructions, because you may want to get a good grade, or you don't want to get into any trouble because they'll tell your parents. And this is where I also believe in these grade school environments is where we start to have code switching is starting to become more ingrained into us, where we're like, okay, we can't speak to school authorities, our teachers, principals a certain way compared to how we may talk to a classmate or a few of our friends. So in school, we have a lot of rules and consequences that helps kind of shape the way of how obedient we are. And of course, not every person is gonna, be fully obedient to school rules or other rules. But in general, it just affects our behavior, what we say and do in class. And also, have you guys ever noticed too, whenever the teacher is teaching and maybe the teacher, supervisor, or principal comes in to see how they're working with the kids, like the teacher like switch up their behavior. Like, you guys ever notice that when you were in class? And then we move on to, well, when we get older and we're an adults and now we're in the work environment, whether it's corporate or not. And then, as you notice, some jobs have reward systems. So like maybe it could be like in sales, if you are able to persuade and get a certain amount of people to buy as many things, then you get rewarded. And if you don't, you might get punished, or you might have limitations, or you might have certain things restricted from you. And sometimes, even if you may have that gut feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this, or I feel this isn't right, you still do it because there's an authority figure there saying you should do it. And you're also is also giving you income, so you're able to live and feed your family and take care of others. What I'm basically saying is that sometimes, because there is authority and there's certain rules and limitations, sometimes we go against what we feel, and we still do it because we feel it's legal, it's right, it's what my boss or teacher's telling me to do. Even though in some cases some people may do harmful or negative things to others just because they were told to do so, which isn't always the right thing to do. You always follow your gut and intuition. So I leave you guys with this question: just because something is legal, or maybe you have an authority figure saying maybe you should do this or that, do you think you should still do it even if it harms others? Let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys could take away something from this video. And whether you disagree or agree, let me know what you think. Let's make this a conversation. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And share this video if you like it. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next video. And take care.